So what we've got here, we've got the iron from Face On to talk about the changes that we were looking at there, and just to put a really good thing with the driver in the video because it looks class, okay? And just in some way to show how much you've sort of progressed with that. So straight line. So if you've got that line there underneath here, I think that sort of stays where we are there. There you go. So there's kind of your setup there now with that golf club. Rotating now, club under that pane of glass, rotating there now. I mean, that is just brilliant. I mean, you've made a really good shoulder turn. You can see your zip now. And the good thing is you can see your zip now is still on an angle, so you've maintained your spine now. You haven't stood up. No, a lot of people, when they sort of rotate as much as you have, their zip would go this way. They sort of just they stand up to make the rotation, which you're not doing there now, so that's great. You're getting the golf club back to a really, really good position. Now, yes, it goes a bit further, but that's just in some ways how much you're able to rotate. People say, oh, that's going across the line. And when I say across the line, they mean the club's pointing over here, across the line you want to go. Well, it's not across the line because you're just turning so far. Okay? If we unwound your shoulder turn, the club is on line when you're there. People who are across the line have the club kind of here when the hands are back in this position. I see what you mean, and that's across the line. You'll just keep going round the corner. You're not across, it's not a bad position. It's just the fact you can rotate that far. And
can actually...
Yeah, exactly. If you find you start losing a bit of control, then maybe you have to sort of dial it back a little bit. But for me, if you can swing the golf club from there, you crack on and keep doing it because you're in it bloody miles.
That's where I'm going to get the
it's just more... Yeah, exactly. And then look, your arms now coming back on that red line, club now's dropping back underneath that red line, club is underneath that red line, so the shaft there now underneath that red line, striking the golf ball, and then you swing back underneath that red line and the ball hits a screen and just disappears off into the bloody wilderness. I mean, I say, those first couple of shots I was like, wow, very good. Now, just to put the reminder in terms of ball position, okay, the blue line now here is going to represent driver. Okay. The green line now is going to represent pretty much every shot off the ground. This would be where you set up green to green with a 7-iron, okay? Chipping with a red line, okay? Your left foot would be there. There's your right foot. So the ball now would perceive to be further back. Or your sternum would be further forward. As when you dangled that club, as your feet just got wider, the club just moved further back. And then if you go to maybe a hybrid, your left foot stays there and your left foot's back there. So if we look at where that left foot doesn't move at all, the green vertical line here where the ball is on, if your feet are on the red line, the ball is now effectively seen as back in the stance nearer to your back foot, as in this right foot here now. With the green line, it's almost middle-ish or 50-50. And with the yellow line now, you definitely say the golf ball now is nearer your front foot. So the ball is up in your stance, they call it, or forward in your stance. But it hasn't really moved from that same spot. Basically, from there to there, that isn't changing at all. All that happens is this foot here just ends up going that way for a longer shot and then that way for a shorter shot, depending on what shot you're going to play. So this is where the setup to me is the biggest change in terms of club to club. And I think what happens is you've got so good with your driver, spending so much time on that, and hey, it's fun. If you're whacking 150 yards, keep doing it. It's 160, whatever.
And the reality is, Gareth, if I can get... I need to get everything good. So it's,
exactly.
So if I get work on one thing, because and get that, keep that ticking over now. And now I'll spend the next couple of weeks on my my irons. And then maybe go to chipping. And then
keep looking back at your driver. But don't. What I would say with your practice though is try not to do. If you hit 100 balls in a practice session, I'll say 100 just for a number. It might be 2 baskets of golf balls. Have at least, I guess, 20% of every other parts of your game. So maybe spend 60% or 50% on the thing you're working on, the irons, the driver, and then do 15-20% of short irons, drivers, whichever you're not using in the main event. So you break your practice up into, again, that balanced practice. You're focusing more on one specific part of the game, i.e. the driver it was been the last few weeks, but don't do like 90% of your stuff with the driver and then a few wedges and go, that's my practice done with the wedge. Because then your other parts of your game will get neglected and they're going to suffer, and you're always only going to be as good as your bad part of your game, aren't you?
Exactly.
So if your driver is 170 and you're like, whoa, this is class, and then you top a 7-iron 15 yards on the floor, you're like, well, what's the point of it? I might as well hit 2 hybrids.
It's always like,
exactly. And this time of year now it becomes a thing. So with the impact now, I'm going to draw a line there. So this is the drill you can probably do at home. Blue line now represents basically a wall. We need to get hands, knee, hip and shoulder moving towards that wall at impact. Head and shoulder could be a little bit back of that slightly, but so the lower half needs to be moving that way towards target. So If you do this at home, obviously, don't do a full backswing because you can see the club has gone through the wall, okay? But from here now, we're going to move to the left. Lower half starts moving there. Get back into impact. No, it's fine. That's okay. There you go. There's impact, okay? Ball now shooting off the club face. Left hip, great. Shoulder, for me, is enough off the wall there to be fine. Head's back behind the ball. Hands are there. Good position, okay? If we take a line from your left shoulder that down to the golf ball, everything now is nicely in line, and then you swing through up into a balanced position. You were just hanging back a little bit, and I think the setup with the irons, I think it was a little movement you made. I would say, hang on, there is probably good. You just move back. There's like a little bit of there. That's probably your right position there. Then you kind of move back here. That little movement there.
Yeah, I dropped the
we don't need.
Down,
so when you drop your shoulder, watch my head position. I'm just going to drop my shoulder. I'm not going to move my head over with the shoulder. It's just a little tip and exactly. Yeah, so you're tipping and tilting. You're not swaying. So
I'm not actually dropping.
That's you kind of drop your body rather than tilt your spine. So rather than doing that, you're kind of going and leaning over. Yeah. Okay. So just be careful of that. Okay. That I would say there is a good position here. By the time you actually come to the golf ball, you move back quite a bit there. Which again, if you start, and again, what you'll find from here, if you make a good swing from this position, as you did with this shot, you will hit it cleanish. As in, like, don't take much of a divot. Ball could be okay. If you make a slightly error swing, you might hit the ground behind the ball, or you'll top it. So the key of the set, if the setup's good and the swing is good, the shot is good. If the lie is good and using the right club. If the setup is average, you make a good swing, the shot's pretty good. If the setup's average and the swing's not so good and the lie's not great, it's going to be a terrible shot. So at least you get two of those things right, you've got a good chance of hitting some reasonable shots, okay? The lie you can't obviously legislate for every single time. Most of the time it's going to be a poor lie, okay, in the winter anyway. So but swing-wise now, making sure we're moving to that left side, top of the back, so now you're nicely under the shoulder there with that club, swinging to the left, really good movement,
through.
Yeah, you're driving through nice, really good. You can see your right knee now. Look, I mean, when you get to impact now, your left leg is kind of straightening up there nicely, and your right leg now, she's in there, and that left leg's straight up there. So you're in a good position there with your setup. That's just after impact, but you've got a nice straight line there. There's your right leg. So you're moving in the right direction through the target. Really good. The reason why you just sort of just hang back a little bit was because your setup just slightly, which is, again, good with the driver. Not quite as good with the irons. Just being aware of kind of like your weight distribution, I think, from club to club. Swing angle still stays the same relative underneath that pane of glass. That's not going to really change. All that really happened is if we go to the sort of driver setup here, there, that distance, blurry. That distance is with your driver, that distance is with your iron, that distance is with your chipping, okay? But this is always going to stay fairly constant there. All that will happen is there would be a 7-iron, slightly shorter club and steeper. There would be a chip shot with a smaller club, So you just adjust in terms of length and distance from the golf ball. But generally speaking, you're still going to be swinging underneath that line, which you're doing brilliantly. Okie dokie.
Okay, fantastic.
Excellent.